Thank you so much for staying with us, everyone. Mr. Tony Rant, a leader in the Niger Delta, of course, a group that's been certified by the NDA to dialogue on their behalf in this whole matter. He's been talking to us, but a lot of people will look at this whole matter now. The economy of Nigeria is at a standstill, and one will be wondering, what is the best way to handle it? You heard what the president has said in Kenya. Is that the way to go?
Yes, the way to go is dialogue. And we must say, with all due respect to Mr. President, he has had the formula for the solution to this issue for over 2 months. It's been on his desk. He's read it. His leaders, his chief of staff, his director of SSS, his NSA, his minister of petroleum affairs, and other people with whom we have interfaced and have developed these solutions have taken it to him. But you must understand that this is government, and government all over the world has a strong military-industrial complex angle.
Are you comfortable with that statement which says that we will deal with them as we dealt with Boko Haram? Doesn't sound to me like a carrot approach, so much of a stick, and in fact, maybe metal.
Mr. President sometimes reverts to his old days as a general in the army. He forgets this is a democracy. This is a situation where he has been advised by everybody, both within and outside the country, that you don't use abrasion to achieve sustainable solutions.
Just a moment. Let's now find out some more details on this matter, especially from the point of view of the federal government of Nigeria and what they are doing, the activities to tame the agitations in the oil-rich Niger Delta region. Joining me now on the program from our Abuja studio is the Minister of General Niger Delta Affairs, Mr. Usani Uru Usani. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. One would be wondering, at what point or what stage are we on this dialogue situation with the Niger Delta Avengers or with the militants in the Niger Delta region?
My view is difficult to determine because you won't really find a unified accredited front for the discussions. You've just heard here, some people said, or it was published, some people said they wanted Professor Wole Soyinka to negotiate on their behalf. True or false, I don't know. Another group is saying the Edwin Clark-led group should do that. I do not know whether that group is different from the DSP group also. And all this only make our perceptions complicated. The real issues to question are, assuming there's even any milestone covered in terms of these discussions, can we say, while the Niger Delta Avengers have accredited a particular group to negotiate on their behalf, the Adaka Borough Avengers are subscribing to it? Shall we also ask, at what point would the Bakassi Frontier Force or any other group within any other region in the several names by which they come, are they subscribing to any of these claimed accredited groups? So to suggest any milestone in this subject is probably to be taken from a perspective of a particular sect, without which you may not be able to guarantee the posture and position and consent of any other group.
Okay, Minister.
But more intriguing is the question that one needs to.
Okay, Minister, if I may quickly ask you, when the president talked about the issue of dialogue about a month ago, and what exactly have you done as a government to ascertain who to speak with and who has come forward? Can you tell us?
Yes. From the preliminaries I've introduced, I will tell you that what exactly we've done is making sure we try to identify the parties that are genuine enough to interact on behalf of the people and also to give the position of government truly to whoever is, defined as the avenger or any other group.
Because again, one will wonder.
Much of what we're doing, since it is a matter of.
Okay, I want to ask you. One will wonder. There seems to be some form of ceasefire. A lot of people will believe that was an agreement with the federal government and the militants. Did you reach any agreement with any of the militant group to cease fire? Because we've not seen, in a couple of days, we've not seen any attacks on major oil installations across the country.
Have such fire cessations at different points in time. But I want to remark and underscore of the development that ceasefire is not the end of the war. Because even at war camps, enemies can have a period of ceasefire where warring factions sit together to eat together, probably to allow humanitarian passages. But that is not enough to suggest that we are comfortable enough to say peace has returned. Nonetheless, in my own personal experience, talking with various people who claim to be coming from different groups, helping me to collect information by which the federal government is advised, I really think that a ceasefire, of course, as the language suggests, is not enough to think that the country is safe and comfortable in terms of the agitation in the region, or the militancy in the region, rather.
But what comes to mind, Minister, is the fact that before a ceasefire, we've seen consistent attacks on oil installation, which gives a sense of the fact that the agitators are very busy. And they're not stupid, I guess, to think that maybe they are out of arms, or their arsenal is empty. They probably, one will be thinking that maybe someone is talking to them, especially when the dialogue option is on the table. So are you saying that the ceasefire has nothing to do with the efforts of the government? The ceasefire is just natural from the end of the militants?
No, that's not what I'm saying. The various efforts from different segments of government's activities are probably contributory to what is seen as a ceasefire. But I have said at intermittent points we have had such cessations where attacks tend to cease for certain periods. But what I am rather saying is that the ceasefire, however is impacted on by efforts of government, is not a consolidation of government efforts, because, again, there are some things in trying to respond to your question adequately may not be appropriate enough, because they have implications to national security, they have implications to the going discussions. And those ones can only be discussed at the levels and, at segments where they will be useful for the collective and ultimate result that is being sought.
With all of this that is on the table, which group or who will be leading the federal government dialogue program? From your end, we've heard some people say Professor Wole Soyinka, a former Southeastern governor, may be leading the dialogue. Can you clarify and tell us exactly who will be leading, since the dialogue option seems to be a good thing on the mouth of both camps?
You may just reflect on my earlier comment that various camps tend to have various representations. Nonetheless, we are not taking any one of them for granted. Government goes ahead to talk with whoever comes, and from the discerning impressions we build and background information and progressive discussions, every one of them has its own perspective, and the discussion is being led by such perspectives. However, I want you to understand that in whatever form it is coming, to ask who is leading the government team. Of course, you are aware that the federal government set up a presidential committee on this. There are other feeder interests discussing at levels that feed the presidential team. So at the time that the government decides on which front to actually see as the front that represents the militants, maybe you will know. Again, it's not for the government to decide, but it's for the people who are agitating, who are militating, to tell us they are unified in one front suggesting this group. But so far, you've heard me say, as you know, different groups keep denying certain accreditations and others keep adopting different accreditations. But as a government, we are listening to all.